I didn't just all of a sudden go into eating meat. I thought, yeah, that's kind of crazy. Things just started getting better and better. You know, the more stuff I eliminated, the better it got. But we need to stop blaming the sugar industry and all these places because they're just making profits. You need to take personal responsibility for what you're doing. 50% of the body's energy goes to structuring water. So if you already drink it structured, then you have to you're saving 50% of your energy because most of your energy is going to structuring water, which I find fascinating. If we're electrical beings and appliances, well, none of us are grounded and we're short-circuiting our biology and we're causing fires, which is inflammation.
Anyway, okay, today we have with us Ben Smith, who has quite some interesting stuff he's going to share with us. So, Ben, if you don't mind, just tell us a little about your background, if you're okay with that.
Absolutely, yeah. First, I want to say thank you very much for having me. I followed your work for years now, and you're one of the first carnivore doctors I started on YouTube. Now I thought, what's this carnivore stuff? You know, and my background is I've always been interested in health and how things work. And when I was a kid, I'd ask a lot of questions of my dad, like, why is the sky blue? What can you see in the air? Whatever it is. And I always wanted to know things. But I went to college, like I studied a lot of science. And then I got into the auto detailing field about 30 years ago. So I owned a car wash for 30 years. Well, in the meantime, I was always looking at health. I was interested. And 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when my sisters passed away from the C word, I am not saying that word because it produces negative connotations, I believe, but we all know what that word is. And so I was like, why does happening? Anyway, long story short, my mom got cancer, got the C word in 1985. She was in remission for 40 years. She passed away in 19. And so I just thought, why is all this happening? Why did people get sick? And so I wanted to become a health coach. I thought, hey, I can help people. I'm a health coach. And then I thought, I don't know if that's quite what I do. If helping people one-on-one like that, I want to spread my message further. So I tried to write a book. I said, okay, I read a book. It's difficult, to say the least. And so I wrote a book on health. After reading hundreds and hundreds of articles. I pieced together these things, put them together. Inflammation causes this. Does inflammation do this? Causes stress. So all these things fit together, then maybe there's something to this. So that's how I wrote my book. And yeah, I've been doing this health journey for a long time. And the carnivore diet, I started carnivore probably about, I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe a year. I don't know, I started low carb. I had a transition. I didn't just all of a sudden go into eating meat. I thought, yeah, that's crazy. Everyone talks about. And so anyway, from your inspiration, and Bart K and Ken Berry, all these people started watching, and I started talking about how we weren't, or acidity of our stomach, which I talk about in my book, this length of our digestive tract, this way the stone tools, all these different things. And you write about in your book. And interestingly enough, we talk about some of the same things. I want to mention this because we have some very commonalities in our books on a couple of things I read in your book, which is fascinating. But that's how it got started.
Interesting. Okay. So where were you at in your health before you made this switch? And you talked about the disease that your siblings had, but as far as personally, where were you at?
I had this weird kind of cyst on my arm. It was benign and pretty benign, but I had a lot. I walk a lot and have some ankle pain. And I never was coming from. Went to my foot doctors. Oh, it's fine. You're getting older, whatever. So I had some ankle pain. But I walked a lot. Acid reflux. I had asthma. What else did I have? The kind of general maladies, not feeling well all the time, things like that. A lot of people suffer from. Didn't know where it was coming from. And so then I started this low-carb journey. Things just started getting better and better. The more stuff I eliminated, the better it got.
Okay, fair enough. And then, so are you still doing the auto detail stuff, or what do you do these days?
Yeah, I do that a little bit, but now that my book's out a couple months ago, so we're obviously promoting it, and so we're transitioning more into public speaking, doing podcasts like this, Just getting my message out that I'm model I created, the model I made, I think is just really going to help a lot of people because it answers a lot of questions that are mysterious to a lot of people. We talk about Low-Carb, about carnivore diet and different things like that. We just found that I like carnivore diet because of you and Ken Berry and Shane, all these people. But there's other aspects that aren't discussed as heavily that it's all synergistic. In my model, I talk about grounding, breathing, sleeping, structured water. I get into that. All these things play a part. That it's all together.
What, as you said, you obviously on a carnivore diet, I assume it's been beneficial for you like it has for many people. What are the other things? So I guess we'll tell us the name of your book so people know what that is.
It's called Why Are You Sick? And How to Reclaim Your Health with the Ultimate Health Model. What I did, like we said a second ago, is I don't know if you can bring it up on your screen to show people the Ultimate Health Model at ultimatehealthmodel.com, but then they can see this blueprint of what I made. But that's the way, it's a blueprint. And it talks about, something we said a second ago, see, there's a red side and a green side. And on my book, it says green side, there's a little blurb we made, me and Maxine, a little jingle. Green side good, red side bad, do the green side, it'll make you glad. And what that means is this, the more things you do on the green side, the healthier it will become. The more things you do on the red side, the more unhealthier you're going to become. So I really simplified it down, Shawn, into really basic components. And a lot of people talk about sugar and how bad sugar is. And we all know how bad sugar is. And seed oils and drugs and all this. But we're placing the blame in the wrong place. Of course, they're not good. But they're not... they're not to blame. It's personal responsibility. If you learn stuff and understand how all these things work together, you can make up your own choices. But we need to stop blaming the sugar industry and all these places because they're just making profits. You need to take personal responsibility for what you're doing. And with my book and my blueprint, you can. It's just really simple. I made it really simple to follow this stuff. And then in the book, I explain in more detail why sleep is so important, why the way you breathe is so important, and not a lot of people talk about the structured water. And then we have diet, obviously, and exercise, all the other things, and positive emotions, but it's all connected.
Okay. And how have you utilized these things? Obviously, I'm very familiar with how diet has been impacting a lot of people. I see it every day. How have these other things you've included impacted you? Let's say structured water. How have you objectively noticed it's changed something for you?
Just structured water, what it is, and I don't know how deep we want to go on this, but let's just start what it really is. Structured water is what water is found in nature. So what happens is water structures around minerals. So if you look at a snowflake falls, and it's the water forms around a piece of dust, minerals. So water structures around minerals are not so snowflake because you get these really beautiful patterns. Those beautiful patterns and those geometric patterns and shapes and complexity is the same thing in your body what's going on. So there's a lot of scientists that talk about this phenomenon for a long time. Some people call it easy water, structured water, hexagonal water, all these things. But inside your body, there's a structure to the water. And that's how information's passed. And so for the longest time, people have not recognized this. Most people haven't recognized this since a few scientists here and there. But that's the kind of water that's in your body. It's like a gel. And this gel forms on everything in the body. Every protein, every blood vessel. It seals everything. It seals up the mitochondrial membrane, the cell membrane, the endoplasmic, all everything. And so I just really got really fascinated by water about, I don't know, it was about 10 years ago, I just started reading that about water. So how was that for me is just helped my health tremendously once I realized what I was doing. And what structured water, what it does, is water found in nature. So when you look at a river flows side to side gently, just like this. I actually have to come on your blood vessels. And there's been research on it. So the blood actually vortexes in the blood vessels, just like a river. And so in my book, Shawn, I make a lot of analogies. The reason I do that is to make it simple for people to understand. And so what's doing this vortex like that in the river, you have the minerals, you have the oxygen, the sunlight, with vortexing and electromagnetic energies, and that's what structures water. Well, guess what? That's the same thing inside your body. You got electromagnetic energies from the sunlight and from just everything around you. You have minerals, obviously, with the structure in water. The water in the blood is vortexing, and the sunlight that's going through your body is vortexing structure of water too. And that's why sunlight is so important, because it structures the water in the body. And so that's what that's doing. So your main job of your circulation, the main job, I believe, is to structure water. And that's the heart does too. So the heart muscle, I watched an incredible video on this about a year ago. It was fascinating. The heart muscle turns like this. And I was like, because what it's doing is it's spinning the blood. So every time it beats, it's turned like this. Fascinating to me. That's the main job, basically, I believe, of the body, is to structure water. And I've read some science and studies, and they say that 50% of the body's energy goes to structuring water. If you already drink it structured, we can talk about some different things I recommend on their website to structure it, then you're saving 50% of your energy, because most of your energy is going to structuring water, which I find fascinating.
All right. Assuming that is true, and I haven't really looked into it to speak intelligently about it, what do you do differently, or what are we doing wrong that would interfere with this process?
So what we're doing wrong is that everything that we do in society, in modern society, destructures the water. So we put through pipes, water's not meant to go like this. It's meant to flow like this. And then our phones that we're all using, I'm obviously guilty of it too, because we don't do these things, but all the things we're doing is destructuring water. So there's the way we live. The stress causes dehydration, as people know. That's obvious. That's been known forever. And that dehydration destructures water. And then so when you're drinking regular water, let's say you're drinking water that's filtered or something like that, then it's not structured and energized in a way. So the body has to structure it into these patterns. I know it sounds woo, but that's what's going on. So when you drink regular water, a lot of it's not absorbed because it's not in a structured form. So the body has to structure it to use it. And you'll tee out a lot of it because it's not in that correct form. And when you create, I know I say you're always my things woo, but when you pray to water or you bless it, why do people bless water? Think about that, our ancients, and you write in your book about what we did for the carnivore diet and what ancient people did, our ancestors, prehistoric ancestors. And they respected water, right? There was holy water. So if water is life, you need to respect it. And there's been studies and experiments about your moto. A lot of people now are doing this about water and how it reacts to consciousness. And I heard about in moto, those experiments where he talked to water, froze it, and he said, "I love you." It was in a beautiful shape. He said, "I didn't like you." It was all misshapen. There's been a lot of researchers that have done a lot more than he has. There's a lady in New Zealand that I met at a conference a couple months ago, and she's done thousands of experiences with this, thousands of experiments with water, talking to it and saying, "Hey," she'd play a song by Led Zeppelin, like Stairway to Heaven, and she has water next to it, and she froze it, and there was a ladder in the water. So this is really revolutionary stuff that I know sounds a little out there, but it's what's really going on.
So objectively, because again, I can't, there's no way for me to assess how my water is structured in my body. That's impossible, right?
Yeah.
The average person can. How do you know? How do you know you're making a difference?
There are some tests you can do. There are some tests. Zach Bush, a guy I follow as well. There's some kind of, it's a test where they can measure. They lay you down. They measure the angle, some kind of angle of your water, of the hydrogen and the oxygen, way the molecules are laying together. That can measure some of the structure, how the water is structured in your body. So
they measure it on a imaging study, or do they take your samples?
Sure. It's something like that. I'm not sure about that, but there is some ways to measure it. And no, you're right. There is no way to measure how much structured water is in your, it's impossible because what's going on is the molecules are coming together and breaking apart trillions and billions of times a second. So it's not like it's a static thing where it's stuck like this and then that's it in the body. It's a constantly complex moving process that, and that's what it's doing. And I related to this too, Shawn, is that diamonds, you have a diamond, you have graphite, carbon. Carbon's what is making diamond and graphite. But carbon, obviously, is just the dirt. It's brown as dirt. And then you have graphite, which is pencil lead, and you have a diamond. And diamonds are beautiful, precious things, but they're all in carbon because of the way the molecules are structured together. And the same with water, the liquid crystal, just quartz that we make computers with. And that's the improvement. I learned that in my book. This is not something I just came up with. Liquid crystals or water. I'm working on ways to use water to make computers. And I don't know how far off that is, but so there's just a lot of interesting science around this. It's very new to the mainstream, so to speak, and it's been around a long time. And it's just fascinating to me.
So what are the things that outside of diet that affect this, that impact this? I don't know if water is the main focus of your book. Maybe you can clarify and say, what are the things that you're looking at? I know you're wearing these glasses to hopefully to mitigate either blue or yellow light or something like that. What are the things that you are practicing?
I do whatever I can. This necklace is for obviously the EMFs. It's a blocking necklace to block some of the EMFs from harming you. The glasses are the blue light. And that's new. Now, science is coming out on how important red light, how important the wavelengths are, getting on the morning sun, getting the actual morning sun light in your eyes, and at sunset, getting that light in your eyes. And there's just a lot of research on how that affects the mitochondria and the health of your body and all these things. And when I was reading the other day that getting the sunlight in your eyes in the morning from sunlight and walking, obviously, because it's exercise, stimulates cortisol production, but also preconditions the skin so ready for the sun. So you're less likely to burn. Also, it starts to build vitamin D. It lowers cholesterol, lowers blood pressure, improves nitric oxide ability. As you know about nitric oxide, I think you've had some guests about nitric oxide. So all these things, but what I've realized, it's all connected. And that's really the big picture. It's just all connected together. And doing one thing is great, but doing as many things as you can is going to help out your health. And you write in your book, it was interesting, you wrote in your book, and by the way, your book was really great. I loved your book. You have the same kind of, tongue-in-cheek way that I wrote my book. And your story in the beginning was really interesting. I like how a lot of the people will say that you lost your legs. And that's not true. That's not what happened. It's a very good story in the beginning. I really liked it. But you mentioned in your book, it was fascinating. As I said, the exact same thing in my book. Plant antioxidants are for plants, not for you. And I thought that was really good, Shawn, because you're right. And I write the same thing. And so plants are not your friends.
Certainly the chemicals that are designed to work in plants are optimized for that and sub-optimized and in some cases detrimental to us. There are a lot of things connected. Obviously, I don't just talk about diet. I talk about getting sleep and exercise and not being sedentary and have some level of sort of relationship with the circadian biology that we have.
Yeah.
What would your dailies, assuming you're trying to put all these things together, what would a day look like for you, the things you're doing to further improve your health?
Yeah. So you mentioned circadian rhythms in your book, and I said the same thing. It's a clock. And imagine if you went to an office or a warehouse or some kind, and there was all chaos. No one knew what time to do anything. You ate when you wanted to. Someone would show up at midnight. Someone would show up at 3 in the afternoon. They didn't know what job they were doing. So that's what it is. Circadian rhythm is a clock in your body cells that tells them what to do. And the circadian rhythms comes from doing the things on the green side of my model. The more things I do on the green side of my model, the more your circadian rhythms are going to be in balance. So what I do every morning is I go out right when I see the sunrise and get the sunlight in my eyes to start to do all the things that you said a few minutes ago, balance the hormones, lower cholesterol, all these things. And interestingly enough, I read a study that retinol and the vitamin A.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, why'd you call it retinol? Because your eye, when you make vitamin A through sunlight too. So in the morning, but retinol is retinoids or something like that, which is a retina of your eye. I was like, whoa, that's pretty interesting. So a lot of hormones are made with the sunlight coming into your actual eyes. They start to be precursors to the hormones, which I thought was fascinating. So every morning I'll walk and do that for 10, 15 minutes. And then Mark Hyman, who I really respect, I like that guy. I watch a lot of his stuff too. He said that 11 minutes of walking a day or something like that can decrease your mortality by 25%. I thought that was fascinating. Something like that. I just read it the other day. So I'll do that. And then I'll have a carnivore breakfast, usually bacon, eggs, beef. And I do, to be fair with I do eat a couple vegetables here and there, but I don't, I would call myself carnivore, so I probably eat 20 grams, maybe 20 grams or 10 grams a day. I don't know, because I know that meat does have a little bit of carbs in it because of glycogen in the meat and the cows eating, whatever. So there is probably 1 gram or something. I think you said that I think there is some kind of, is there some, like half a gram, Shawn, something like that?
Particularly in eggs, you see a little bit of that. Usually, when the animal's killed, any glycogen is typically converted to lactate within a few hours of death. So it doesn't really show up significantly in meat, at least in the form of actual glucose or glycogen. So it's more in the form of lactate if you might expose to any of it. We have a system in our body to convert lactate to glucose. That's lactate reshuttling, which is well known. So, but anyway, so you get up, you look at the sun, start your day. It's nice when you're in California. Hey, you can just, the sun shines out there all near the coast. And I can't remember if Santa Rosa is it right?
It's in the North Bay of the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, the wine country. Okay. It's west of Napa, about 30 or 40 miles.
Okay, so you're not far from the coast. You're
25 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, do that. I'll eat some eggs and some beef, bacon. And then at lunchtime, I'll usually have meatballs or meat or some kind of ground beef or something. And then at dinner, I'll have more ground beef. And I eat a lot of zucchini. I think there's zucchini. I like it. But that's it. And maybe a little bit of cauliflower or something. Just because I don't think plants are... There's a something called adaptive stress and chronic stress. And adaptive stress, I believe, from what I write in that book, is actually healthy, like exercise. So eating a couple of vegetables here and there, I believe, may have some kind of hormetic effect on that. I eat so few, it's pretty much minuscule. That's pretty much all I eat. Maybe I eat some chicken here and there, some fish, but no carbs, no bread. I wrote this note too because I thought it was important. I remember I ate some bread about, I don't know, a couple, 3 months ago, and immediately my foot started to hurt and my arm started to race. I was like, wow, don't let me have it again. But I realized how problematic some of these refined grains are because they raise the blood sugar, as you talk about in your videos, and all these different things. And I definitely stay away from that. I haven't had bread since, in fact, I thought I would try a piece of garlic bread or whatever it was I was eating, right? No. And I can eat a couple of berries, maybe here and there, but once again, literally within 5 minutes of eating a berry, my foot starts to hurt. And people, well, that's probably just psychosomatic. No, I think it's the sugar. I don't know for a fact, obviously, but the way I'm eating, I feel way better. All the other things I'm doing on my model that are an adjunct to the diet. Also, I talk about in my book, grounding. Grounding is where you earth yourself to the ground because of the free electrons. The earth is an endless supply of electrons and antioxidants, basically, because electrons are antioxidants. So I'm talking about berries, how important they are. Earth is more important because it's an endless supply of electrons. Also, balances I read this in the book. I think I wrote this in the book, but it's a really good analogy for people, Shawn. What grounding does is imagine we're electrical appliances, which we are. We're basically electrical beings. When you don't ground your appliance, to the reason I have a ground plug is so it doesn't cause a fire. And so it doesn't short circuit. That's why there's a ground plug and everything. Well, so I thought if we're electrical beings and appliances, none of us are grounded and we're short circuiting our biology and we're causing fires, which is inflammation. I thought, wow, that's really interesting. It's a really good analogy for that. So grounding, walking barefoot on the ground. I write something about walking barefoot on the beach, in grass. I also getting grounding products. I use a grounding pillow every night to ground myself as much as possible. The more hours you do that day, the better off you are. Now, there's some caveats to that. If you're taking blood pressure or stuff, I've read that we might thin the blood too much because what's doing it is it's putting more electrons in the body and in the red blood cells. They come apart further, so it thins the blood. It's called the zeta potential. It's a little complicated, confusing, but suffice to say is obviously we didn't say this in the beginning, but this is just information only. This is not medical advice. Obviously, talk to your doctor. But that being said, grounding is super important. And Clint Ober, who wrote a book called Earthing, really smart guy. And he just tells me, started grounding people. Their arthritis got better. Their whatever. And within 5 minutes, their arthritis got better. Their joint pain got better. It's a really important thing to add to your toolbox that's not being used.
Okay, so you got red light in the morning, you got the dietary prescription, you've got the grounding aspect. Now you're wearing these glasses, presumably because you're staring at a computer, but you wouldn't be wearing this normally in the daytime, correct?
No, I would wear this only if I was inside at night or watching TV or something, or read a lot of any kind of blue light that's not natural or shouldn't be there at that time is what I wear in. But no, in the daytime, no, I don't. Obviously, because you want the blue light, because in the spectrum of light of this grass, the red light and blue light are complementary. But with artificial light, you have these spikes and valleys where you have red light or blue light, and that's not normal. There's spike or a valley, so it's not in correct proportions. But in the sunlight, it's all the correct proportions that have been here since the beginning of time.
You have, so as far as with regard to schedule, do you position your meals around the circadian stuff? You're eating most of your meals early, late? Does that impact you at all?
No, I don't know. I just basically, I try to only eat 2 or 3 meals a day because of, like you talk about, and chafing. You can't be stuffing your face all the time because it's hard on the body. But you eat 1 meal a day. What do you eat? 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day?
Most often 2, sometimes 1, sometimes 3. But 2 is pretty much the average, I'd say, for me.
Yeah, because what people are doing, snacking is not normal. And as you know this, you can't be eating all the time because you raise insulin. And like all of my heroes, Dr. Paul Mason and Ben Bigman, they say all the same thing. You can't be stuffing your face all day long. Because people that are snacking, they're not eating some beef tallow, and they're not eating a piece of steak. They're eating cookies, chips, carbs. And like you read in your book, you said that we're not designed to eat all the time. We ate what we could find, and you only ate 1 meal a day. A lot of times back in probably ancient times, they only ate one meal a day, not 10 times a day. All you do is raising insulin, causing stress on the cells, causing chronic dehydration, because my model shows that chronic stress causes chronic inflammation, causes chronic dehydration. Like chronic dehydration, I believe, is at the root of most of your problems, if not all. So it's not sugar that's bad, and it's not the stress that's bad, and it's not your phone that's bad. None of these things are bad in and of themselves. What they're doing is you're causing chronic dehydration.
How are they causing chronic dehydration when we know that a lot of people, when they go low carb diet, they lose a lot of water? And we see that. I'm just wondering, because carbohydrates tend to attract water with them, they tend to lower insulin, raise insulin, which causes retention of sodium in water. How do you see that it causes dehydration? I'm curious on that.
Yeah. So I think we're talking about doing certain measure. So the body is under a constant water management system. And what I mean by that, so it always needs water for everything, for it to take nutrients to the cells and take waste away. So it's constantly under a water management system, right? So what stress does, low carb diet, you're saying they said they gain water, they lose water weight. What do you say? I'm sorry, I'm talking.
Well, when many people go on a low carb diet, the first thing they'll do is they'll diurese. They'll lose a bunch of water. People often say, well, they lose water weight. That's a very common seen scenario. And then when they add carbs back in, sugar, grains, pastas, breads, they often gain water again. So just curious, because you said that sugar was dehydrating, when in many cases it seems to do the opposite.
Well, the body's trying to hold on to water. So what's going on is that it pulls water out of cells. So when you eat sugar or you cause stress, you have the fight or flight syndrome, right? You heard of fight or flight, obviously. All of that causes stress. And when the body's under stress, that's what the body's constantly managing water. So if someone loses water weight on low carb and gains it when they start eating carbs again, it's just all about, I don't know what the exact map is, but it's all about just maintaining a water balance in the body. And so I read a lot of books on this. I just found it very fascinating. The body's always trying to manage water. So when you're under stress, whether it's physical stress, emotional stress, or mental stress, the body is no different between a tiger chasing you or you losing your job. So it starts to prioritize water in places like your liver, your heart, your brain, your lungs, whatever it is, and it pulls water other places. It's always doing this constantly. It's managing water all over the body all the time. And
now,
so,
I've seen people in the past, as you mentioned, structured water, talk about drinking structured water.
Yeah.
Is that something you engage in, or is it something you... Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a gentleman in Australia that created a device that structures water. And so what he did was, he was a scientist, he found like numerous experiments on this stuff, and it structures water. So what it does is you can take a portable one. Actually, on my website, people can see what this is called, the MEA device. It basically spins the water around in a vortex. So you have these two bottles, glass bottles, jars. There's a piece in the middle, like a little device. And you pour water into one, and then you put them together, and it spins the water around because of the shape of the bottle and the shape of the device. And it's vortexing just like in nature. Plus there's magnets in the little piece, and there's minerals that are attached to the sides, and then the energy, so it spins into the thing and structures the water. That spinning motion. And plus you can buy whole ones too that structure the whole water for your house. And I noticed it in my mother, my family, my mom and my dad. My mom didn't believe in structured water at first. She was kind of like most people said, "You're crazy, man." And she ordered one of the devices for her whole house, and she's just astonished. She tells everybody about structured water. She's like a fanatic about it. And interestingly enough, my publisher and all my team has read my book, and they're getting help for everything, all the other conditions for reading my book, and then you did all these things are great. My publisher's daughter is so obsessed with structured water that I think my publisher said she changed her major in college. But I'm not positive about that. But she became obsessed with structured water when she read the book, and wow, this stuff is amazing on what it's actually doing. It's just an adjunct to everything else. It's all connected. And the more things you can do on the green side of my model, the better off you're going to be. And obviously, obviously diet is super important, but there's other things too that are important as well.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think there's a lot of other things that are important. I think, in my view, the big things are getting sleep, not being sedentary. I think probably the biggest impact things, and then probably the light probably plays a role in there. What are the things, so if you were to say the things that have been most impactful to your own personal journey in health, can you say these are the top three things that have had the biggest impact on me? And then you can say these things are add-on things that might help a little bit.
Yeah, that's a tough question, Shawn, because they're all impactful. To be honest with you, I know this is gonna sound weird, but
If you had, if somebody said you could only do 5 things, if somebody said you could only do 5 things, you only have time, because a lot of it's a time thing.
Of course.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't have time to earth and ground and stare at the sun and wear glasses. And I mean, there's a lot of, or maybe they don't have or can't afford structured water or house structures. So what are the things that would say, if I could only do 5 things, could you maybe list that?
Because if you can't afford it or they don't have the time, I don't agree with that, because they would get out in the morning and walk. Everyone sees the sun, and then grounding, you can go on your backyard. You have a nice place. You stand on the ground. You stand on your grass, and for 20 minutes, half hour, whatever. Everyone has 20 minutes to do something. Like glasses, these are a little expensive, but what's free? Let me show what's free. And grounding's free, unless you go buy a grounding product. But what's free is nose breathing. And a whole chapter on breathing. And James Nestor, who's I'm a big fan of, I watched a lot of his videos and learned a lot from him. That was a couple of years ago. I didn't know anything about breathing. And I started watching, I was like, wow, breathing is not important. Nose breathing. You have to keep your mouth shut, because mouth breathing causes inflammation. And there's a lot from McEwen, oxygen advantage. There's a lot of people talking about this. Dented. This is not new information. And yeah, mouth breathing contributes to, I might say, cause a lot of inflammation, and probably contributes to a lot of diseases, because that inflammation is causing hypoxia, oxygen deprivation, because, and I don't want to get too complicated with the viewers here, but basically just something to understand this: carbon dioxide and oxygen compete on the red blood cells for space. The more you breathe out, the more the oxygen stays stuck in the red blood cells. I read this in my book. Why do people tell you to hyperventilate? Why do they tell you to breathe in a paper bag? They tell you to breathe in a paper bag to get the carbon dioxide back into your lungs to release the oxygen from the red blood cells. And so I started reading about oxygen. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Since I've been nose breathing for the last couple of years, I have no allergies. I used to have asthma. I have no asthma anymore. I don't snore. I don't wake up with headaches. It's just a game changer.
So you're like taping your mouth, or what are you doing to ensure your nose breathing? Yeah,
there's mouth strips. They're up on their website. And by the way, if anyone goes to their website, they just type in the code and they get a discount too. But all these things I recommend, I use. So that's why I'm trying to use this. Okay, people, mouth tape. You keep your mouth shut, and you keep your mouth shut if you're not talking or eating. It's that important. So that's probably one of the main ones. You talk about sleep. And sleep is critical, because that's when I write in my book, I believe we're like biological robots. So sleep resets your software, and grounding recharges your battery. And that's a good analogy for people to use. So when the viewers watch this, go, wow, okay, grounding, because we're electrical beings. The electrons coming from the earth, it's electricity. That's recharging your mitochondria, along with everything else you do on the Green Solid model. And the sleeping resets your software. When we don't reset your software, we have glitches. So I use a lot of analogies, Shawn, to really help people make it simple.
Okay. Remind me the name of your book again. What was it again? I know it had a long title. Why we get sick.
Why you're sick, and how to reclaim your health with the Ultimate Health Model. And then they can go to ultimatehealthmodel.com and get an overview of what we're doing in U19. So they'll see the model, and they'll see all the stuff that we're doing to.
So you mentioned your team. What's your team? What's your team about?
I have a publicist, I have a publisher, I have an editor.
Okay. Just to distribute the information. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm a big team, but I got a couple of people there.
Okay, got it. And so is your day-to-day, now you said you do a little bit of the auto detailing, but the day-to-day stuff you're doing more is revolving around this health, I guess you want to call it health optimization.
Yeah, I'm trying to just help people, because as you've talked to hundreds of other people, and it's reward you, they say they had some autoimmune condition got better, they got this, it got better. It's just frustrating to see how people are overweight and how good they can feel, Shawn. I just feel so much better. And there's this, it's like a light at the end of the tunnel. And once again, I think that it's about everything we do. And we've got to take personal responsibility once I said that, and stop blaming sugar and blaming big food and pharma. And that's their job. And it's not them. What I personally believe is that I believe the electronics that we're all using is probably more, it's probably icing on the cake. That's why everyone's getting ill, because of electromagnetic energies and how it's destructuring water and how it's causing stress, obviously inflammation. So, and there's studies on that about phones. I'm not a scientist. I'm a citizen scientist, but I didn't do any research. There's a lot of studies on it. So I believe that. And as you talk about some of your videos, the soil depletion and damage to soil, those two things, I believe, is what's causing the explosion of the problems we're having. Because people make sugar when I was a kid, I ate cookies and pasta and all these things. And sometimes it's good for you like that, but I think there's other things involved that might be more problematic, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you have any like social media that you participate? Do you have like a social media account as well? Yeah,
we have Instagram. We go Ultimate Health Model. We have YouTube. That's Ultimate Health Model. We're working on Facebook. I'm new to this because I've been doing details so long that now that I'm a public figure, I go, oh God. I like you. I go, oh my God, I got to get ready for this and get all my ducks in a row here. So we're just working on getting, I know we have Instagram. We're not the Instagram up, and I believe the YouTube, and then my website. And then what's kind of new is on my website, send a question, and then we'll do our best to answer it.
So it's called Ultimate Health Model on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find it here real quick.
I hope it's called that. I don't know. They're working on it. Is it there? I'm going to talk to Chris.
Yeah, I can't see. Let's see. I'm not sure if that's the exact name. Ben Smith. Yeah, there you go. I see you there.
Oh,
okay.
What's the number?
Yeah. It says Ultimate Health Model. Yeah, just all together, one word. So
okay, good.
Yeah, you got about 3 or 4 posts in there. Okay, well, awesome. Ben, is there anything else you want to share? Because we were running out of time. Is there any other topic you wanted to jump into?
No, I just want to say, Shawn, that I met you. Remember we met at the Austin conference, remember? I know you talked to a lot of people. You remember me?
Yeah, no, I do remember. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do talk to a lot of people for sure.
You talk to a lot of people. I just want to say what you're doing is just really important. And that what all of us are doing in the Carnivore community, just trying to educate people. And I just said this is just something we all have to do. We all have to work together. We have to work together and stop fighting about this diet or that diet. Just chill out. And if you want to eat vegetables and plants, do it. If you want to be on your phone, if you want to eat sugar, do it. Like, stop blaming people. And I think that's the thing that's really I want to drive home is stop blaming all these industries. Take personal responsibility and learn something. I wrote that whole book by myself without any help with 10 years of research. As we've been talking, I almost have a lot of knowledge, but I took the time to do it. I know people's lives are busy. You got a lot of things going on, but there's endless amounts of information on the internet. And just go learn. And what doesn't make sense to you, don't use it. What makes sense to you, use it. Just use your common sense and just start thinking. There's my soapbox.
There you go. Fair enough. I'll tell you what, I appreciate this. Thanks for being here.